It's Memorial Day 2025, and employees at Dr. Conkey's Candy and Coffee in Simi Valley, California, open the shop for the holiday. They are immediately met with disarray. There is paint splashed over the cameras, entire shelves are toppled over, and the safe is open. Strangely, there is also a hole in the wall leading to the business next door, 5-star jewelry and watch repair. The jewelry store owners rush over, fearing the worst. And sure enough, when they open the safe, customers' jewelry, gold bars, and all their savings are gone.
Welcome to Heist Club, where we've got a new heist story coming at you each week. We're here to uncover the details behind some of the most audacious and ridiculous robberies of all time. How they pulled it off, how they got caught, and the mysteries that remain. Bank heists, art heists, diamond heists, and other capers you won't believe. I'm Jesse.
And I'm Todd.
Welcome to the club.
Hi, Jesse.
Hi, Todd.
Hope you had a good Father's Day.
Yes, I did.
Okay, good. Great. So did I.
I didn't do anything with my father, and I went to a drag show crawfish boil.
Oh. That sounds amazing.
Yeah, it was. It was amazing.
Well, I can't top that. My stories won't matter because you win.
Even though you're an actual father, I still win Father's Day.
Yeah, you still win Father's Day because you did something that no one else did, I think. Well, at least some people did, but not a lot. Well, I'm glad that it went well for you and everyone involved. To the listeners, we hope you had a good Father's Day as well. Of course, we don't mean to leave you out of it. And please stick around for the end of this episode for the final clue in our Heist Club cash grab. That's right. Just one more hint as to where to find the clue that will get one of you $500. Head to schoolofhumans.com for full rules and regulations and check out the last 3 episodes of the podcast if you missed the first 3 clues. I don't even know what you're doing here then. Why are you even here? No, actually, please stay. Stay. Don't leave.
Stay.
And check out the last ones. But this is the biggie. This is the final one. I'm not sure it makes sense on its own, though. So I think you do need the other clues to piece it together.
Yeah, you probably have to do a little amateur sleuthing.
Yeah, that's true. At least a little. And hopefully you live somewhere near the clue card is, or you're willing to go for a drive at a time when gas prices are very high. So now, for this week's heist, we don't have to turn the clock back too far. This actually is our most recent heist, I think, outside the Louvre, right? Because the Louvre heist obviously was very present.
Breaking news.
Yes, but looking in terms of our past tense storytelling and not our breaking news special episodes, this is the most recent one, just over 1 year old.
Oh.
ABC News says it's reminiscent of Ocean's 11. We'll see if it actually plays out like that. I think we see this all the time. Like, there's only so many heist movies that the media are familiar with. So any heist that happens in Italy is the Italian Job. And almost any other heist is Ocean's 11. I don't know. This one's not very Ocean's 11 to me.
Exactly. I can't imagine an ABC newscaster being like, oh, it's just like Inside Man. Like, they don't know anything.
Right. Yes.
You know.
Yeah. This is just like The Killing by Stanley Kubrick. It's like, I love to see them make those references.
Right. Yeah.
Nope. They go for the obvious. They really do. Simi Valley, California is a small city in southeastern Ventura County, 37 miles north of Los Angeles. There are quite a few fun things to do, like exploring the whimsical Grandma Prisby's Bottle Village, which I never heard of before, but it's a touristy place where a woman built a mini city out of glass bottles. That's the kind of thing I would want to go to. You also have the Ronald Reagan Presidential Museum. I'm on the fence. And enjoying plenty of public parks and trails, which is actually very much what I think of when I think of California, especially north of LA, but just California in general. Yes, always fun to visit. Cinephiles will also recognize parts of Simi Valley from Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, The Big Lebowski, The House from Poltergeist. I think that's a cool one. And also the IRS building and Everything Everywhere All at Once, amongst others. So the IRS building, at least, is a more recent one. I could picture that very well. I don't think they did from the home movie there, but... And also, I thought this was a great one. The music video for Bullet with Butterfly Wings by Smashing Pumpkins. You know, The Quarry, where all the shirtless men are working and the band plays the song from. Like, I guess that could have been anywhere, but it was Simi Valley. I'm
more familiar with other Smashing Pumpkins music videos, so I had to do a quick refresher. And yeah,
oh, you didn't remember that one? Oh, I mean, in middle school, I loved that video. There are also plenty of strip malls to be found, but this is actually connected to the heist. I'm not just talking about other things in Simi Valley. Like this one off of Cochrane Street, which hosts quite an interesting lineup of businesses. A children's clothing boutique, an optometrist's office, a Mexican deli, a jewelry repair business, and Dr. Conkey's Candy and Coffee. God, it's actually hard. I don't know if I said it out loud until right now. I've read it a lot. Dr. Conkey's Candy and Coffee.
I love it. It's very silly.
The hard consonant sound really, it rolls off the teeth.
It's very cartoonish.
Yeah.
It sounds like a wacky cartoon place.
I love the name. It sounds so fun. I know. I'm actually wearing my Economy Candy shirt in honor of a candy store episode. I think I wore this for Halloween too. So all these stores have one thing in common. They are independently run mom and pop stores. Dr. Conkey's opened its doors in 1982. It's got that turn of the century apothecary look, which I love personally. I proposed outside of a ice cream place that has a turn of the century apothecary look here in Brooklyn. They sell candy, homemade fudge, knickknacks, and have an espresso bar. And we have a picture here of owner Ted Mackle posing in his store. It's kind of hilarious. He is dressed up totally turn of the century. He's got a
monocle.
He's got a monocle. He's holding his hand. Looks like it almost looks like Back to the Future 3, where they're dressed up to look like they're from that time. You know, it's very or like you're visiting like an amusement park and you get to dress up and put a hat on and then pretend you're in an old timey store.
Yeah, I mean, I love that he clearly just made up Dr. Conkey. You know, he's just like going for a whole thing. I think it's a great business idea because it's so silly. He's committing to it.
I guess you're right though, right? He just made who's Dr. Conkey? It was just like a funny name, right? Just like a silly way. Not like I expected him to actually be a doctor. But I guess that's also based on like old candy stores, apothecaries, if you would. Like, right, oh, here's a ginger ale to cure your disease, right? There is like a health effects to drinking these sodas, etc. So that's the inspiration.
It's going to do a lot better than just Ted Mackle's candy store.
Yeah, who cares about Ted Mackle's? That's right. Or Ted, or Mr. Mackle, Dr. Mackle, any of the above. Police cars are often seen outside the store, not because Dr. Conkey's is a crime hotspot. That would be strange. Although I bet a lot of kids steal like little pieces of candy, right? Come on, they get away with it. The store is known to give free coffee to first responders in uniform. That's a good reputation. Simi Valley isn't known for having a lot of violent crime, though, and that's exactly why Dr. Conkey's next-door neighbors moved in. Dr. Conkey's wall buddy is 5-Star Jewelry and Watch Repair, a family-owned jewelry shop. We have a picture of the facade. Well, we can see them both right next to each other. Yeah, 5-Star Jewelry, and then Dr. Conkey's really the sign mostly just says candy and coffee. So they really hide the Dr. Conkey's part. If you're driving by, it's less important, right? It's just like, oh, a place that's candy and coffee? Yeah. Something for me, something for my kids, or two things for me, whatever you're thinking.
Yeah.
Yeah. 5-Star Jewelry was founded by Jacob Youssef. In the 1970s, he immigrated to the U.S. from Egypt and immediately got to work on his American dream. He built the business from the ground up, and now, 71 years old and nearing retirement, his son Jonathan has managed major operations since 2015. Simi Valley wasn't actually Jacob's initial location for the store. His first store in downtown Los Angeles got robbed at gunpoint while he was inside. So in 2000, he opted for the much quieter Simi Valley. He has spent the last 25 years building trust with his loyal customers who trust him to work on their family heirlooms. We have a picture of Jacob and Jonathan. You know, I don't know. I like Jonathan's look. Jonathan's got super slicked back hair, black t-shirt, dangling necklace. I don't know. He looks like a jeweler to me, you know? I don't know. He's got the look. Like every store that has some high-ticket items such as jewelry, metal bars line the doors, and all merchandise on the floor is safe behind bulletproof glass. Very precious items like customers' family heirlooms, luxury watches, gold bars, and thousands of dollars in cash savings are stored in an 8-inch thick, 5,000-pound safe. And on Memorial Day weekend 2025, Jacob and Jonathan actually worked through the weekend, finishing a customer's pearl necklace, which had belonged to their mother. It's a simple repair. They just need to replace the clasp, so that shouldn't take too long, you wouldn't think.
The need of the whole weekend.
The whole weekend to finish that clasp. It's a really specific version of a clasp, I guess, you know.
Yeah.
They finish on Sunday, but when they call the customer, she decides to wait to pick it up rather than deal with the weekend traffic. That's fine. It'll be here after the holiday. or maybe it won't, now that we've said that. At 6:30 a.m. on Memorial Day, the staff at Dr. Conkey's Candy and Coffee start their opening checklist. It's immediately apparent something is wrong. The entire gift area is completely torn apart, like an animal pulled the shelves down. The cameras are covered in paint, and if that isn't enough to raise red flags, there's a massive hole in the wall, and they can see right into the jewelry store. What the heck were the closers up to last night, right? I don't know. What something happened here. So obviously this isn't the product of a botched closing shift, so they call Ted Mackle, owner of the store, to sort out what's going on. He tells them to call the police, and he'll call Jacob. Jacob and Jonathan rush to the store. At first, Jacob thinks nothing has been taken due to the lack of any visible disturbances. There's no broken glass, no discarded earrings or watch pieces, so maybe they're safe. Jonathan demands he open the safe to really see. Jacob opens it and almost collapses. It's completely cleared out. All that's left is a small rectangular hole and some coins. The hole is so small that no one could have gotten in through that. They somehow robbed the safe without stepping a foot inside. We have a picture. It looks very empty to me. That hole is small. That is like the fact that they, I guess, reached in and were able to grab everything and get everything out just through that hole is pretty impressive.
Right. Yeah, it's very tiny.
Tiny hole. Jonathan runs out the door yelling, "Everything, bro. They took all the customers, bro." Was that too New York? Was that not Simi Valley enough? I don't know what Simi Valley.
I think that was very Jonathan.
That was very Jonathan. I'm going to try. No. Our producer's telling us apparently there's a real recording of this, and he sounded sad. So let's take one. I'm giving my director options, and this time I'm going to try to do it in a sad way while using the word bro. Okay.
And action.
Okay. "Everything, bro. They took all the customers, bro." I don't know. I went even more New York with it.
Yeah, that was really good.
My acting lessons are years and years old. I went to camp when I was like 9 years old or something. Those are all my acting lessons. So Anyway, he said those words in some way, and apparently they were sad. Of course they were sad. I just thought they were sad and angry. You know, that's how I read the character, based on his slick back hair, his black t-shirt.
Yeah, he's heartbroken.
Never judge a book by its cover. Yeah. More than just physical items were stolen, though. Jonathan believed the trust their customers had for them went with the thieves as well. Now, that's sad. That does make me feel sad. Meanwhile, the police try to piece together the events of last night. It's pretty apparent someone broke in due to the very destructive path the thieves left behind. But how did it all unfold? Find out after the break.
We're back. After Jacob and Jonathan discovered their entire vault cleared out, they hope the police can find out what happened. Actually, help comes from their next-door neighbor, Dr. Conkey's. Even though their security cameras are damaged, the system itself saved all the footage. This plus the evidence left behind in the burglar's wake tell the cops the tale of what went down. Everyone gathers around to watch the robbery unfold. On Sunday night, around 11:30 p.m., the gang arrives at the strip mall. No cops hanging around after hours. They climb to the roof of a single-story building and cut through the roof right above the Dr. Conkey's bathroom, which sits at the business's rear.
This is very Roofman.
Very Roofman.
Very Roofman. Very inspired. I'd say by the movie, but like came out the same year. But I think this is a few months before the movie came out. Maybe not. I don't know. Also, I'm not sure robbers are actually like, let's go see the latest Channing Tatum movie to be inspired for our next crime.
Yeah, maybe not.
Yeah.
We have a couple photos of the holes. Yeah, we have a hole in the ceiling, and we have a view from inside the bathroom. Yep, looks like a hole.
The hole in the roof is definitely a sizable hole. Yeah.
So they drop into the bathroom. One of the gang members then valiantly crawls on his stomach to avoid cameras. This obviously doesn't work, but we appreciate the effort because he is caught on camera doing it the entire time, and it's really funny.
It is ridiculous.
We have
funny.
A still from the video, and it's just a man laying on the floor. It looks like a murder scene if you didn't know what you're looking at, because he's just on there.
You would just think it's a body underneath that table. It's true, because it's a still. But like he is just laid out, and he is inching his way along the floor. I appreciate the effort. Something different. We haven't seen this before.
Yeah, we've done so many heists. I appreciate anything new, and an inchworm method is great. It's so
You
funny.
could see a comedy about a heist where like the Jim Carrey or Zach Galifianakis character is like watching like a nature doc at the beginning of the movie. And then when it's his turn to rob, he's like the inchworm. No, this is how we burrow and we'll never be seen. I would find that to be a totally believable heist comedy scene.
Exactly.
But this is real life. Yeah.
He inchworms across the ground, moving tables and chairs with his head. He reaches the camera and stands just under it. His face is covered so he can't get an ID. Then he spray paints over the security camera. But he can't muffle the audio, or didn't think about the audio. I'm thinking they probably wouldn't have spoken, or at least whispered, if they thought about the audio.
Yeah.
There's 3 separate male voices all speaking Spanish. With their identities hidden, they walk over to the gift section and it's pastel green painted wooden shelving stocked with knickknacks. They pull the shelves to the ground. For the next 2 hours, they drill and hack through 6 inches of sheetrock and then the 8-inch thick safe. Unlike our other tunnel digging heisters in past episodes, these guys cut out a small, impressively evenly measured rectangle, just enough to reach an arm through. Once in, all they have to do is shovel everything into bags and they're home free.
I wonder if there's any clues in the fact that the rectangle is so perfect versus other ones. Like, either they were good at geometry or they are, contractors who like redo people's kitchens. I don't know. I don't think this actually comes up later. So this is not going to pay off anywhere later in the story. But, but this is, it is a detail that because we've seen just, pretty ramshackle holes before.
Yeah. They also dig into the candy store safe as well, taking around $1,000. They try to take Dr. Conkey's security system on their way out, but mistake the store's intercom system for it instead. At least they tried. That's really funny.
So they're not intercom experts or security camera experts. They're only geometry experts. Okay. Yeah,
Exactly.
I'm building my list here, It's like Breaking Bad, right? That's a chemistry teacher who, I'm good at chemistry. Now I could cook up some meth.
Wow.
I'm good at geometry. Now I could cut holes in things and steel.
Coming soon to AMC.
Yeah.
So now Dr. Conkey's is out of their in-store tunes. No music for the candy store, but they have bigger problems.
What did they play anyway? What do you think they played?
Just like the wackiest circus music.
Yeah. Ba, 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 ba. Yeah.
That's exactly it.
Yes. That was actually more. I think that was McCartney. I think that was Wings I just did.
Okay, yeah, they just play Wings all the time.
Wings.
They love
Dr.
Wings.
Conkey loved Wings. Not a huge fan of the Beatles, but Wings.
The Wings.
Went crazy for Wings. Yes.
They leave around 2:30 a.m., not having triggered a single alarm. In the end, the thieves get away with cash, gold, and jewelry valued at least $2 million, with some reports saying as much as $3.5 million. News of the heist spreads across Simi Valley. Jonathan tells reporters through tears, "It's a hit. My father's retirement, my future. I have a young family and 3 daughters. He was literally on his way out to retire. I just ordered the sign, actually, to close on Monday so he doesn't have to come in anymore." Sad.
What happened to the New York accent I gave him earlier? It's like a whole different character now, Jesse.
I didn't do it.
I've been
just read it.
recast mid-episode because they're like, why is that guy doing a Brooklyn accent? That makes no sense. This is not working. Make him an extra and hire that Jesse guy to play the role.
Yeah, I'm not going to give him a Brooklyn accent because I don't know how, and he's not from Brooklyn.
By the way, I live in Brooklyn, and in my neighborhood of Brooklyn, no one has Brooklyn accents anymore. It's all,
Exactly, yeah.
Yes. It does exist. It does still exist. It's just,
Right.
bunch of us transplants, yeah.
Jacob vows to come to his son's aid, but, quote, "I cannot rebuild what I did in my lifetime." But what weighs on Jacob and Jonathan the most is the guilt that they lost their customers' precious items. Jacob says, quote, "I can't give back their grandma's diamonds or grandpa's watch. These were pieces that meant everything to our customers, who I consider friends." Yeah, robbing a mom and pop store is definitely just more depressing.
Just cruel. Yeah.
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 Not everything in the safe is insured, so they will have to recoup some of the lost funds themselves. We can forgive them for this. Insurance for a mom and pop store can really break the bank.
Yeah. We often have judgments about things not being insured, but that's usually when it's like priceless pieces of art that are worth millions of
Priceless
dollars.
pizzas, you're right.
Priceless pizzas, Domino's, Little Caesars, Papa John's, all these priceless. Oh, wait, they have prices? Oh, I've never actually paid for them. I didn't realize that. No, priceless pieces of art. But when it's a mom and pop, like you would think you'd want to get insurance, but it's a lot of money.
Yeah, we can totally forgive that.
Yeah.
They secure loans to replace the stolen gold to replicate their heirloom pieces. Local businesses rally around Jacob and Jonathan and create a Give, Send, Go fundraiser to recoup the lost earnings. We couldn't find how much they actually raised, though. It's been deactivated.
I never heard of Give, Send, Go, by the way. Have you heard of that? It's always
Nope.
I've always heard of GoFundMe or...
Yeah. And on May 28th, something happens that looks straight out of a movie. Dozens of customers visit the store to offer condolences with sympathy. Instead of facing an angry mob, Jacob and Jonathan are met with support. They also inundate the father and son with even more jewelry to clean and repair.
That's so wonderful, right?
Yeah, it's a wonderful life.
It is. It feels very small town. And I think a lot of people would think, oh, just outside LA, it's still very LA. And obviously people have thoughts on California and thoughts on LA, whatever. But feels like super small town and just so wonderful that the community supports them like that. I remember that scene in Ocean's 11, just like ABC said. This feels very Ocean's 11 to me when all the people of Las Vegas come and give Andy Garcia their business to make up for all the money he lost from these terrible criminals.
Exactly. The heartfelt Lifetime movie, Ocean's 11.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah. Ted Macko, owner of Dr. Conkey's Candy and Coffee, believes this is a planned hit. He says, quote, "As business owners, we worry who's next." He's probably not wrong. In April, there were 2 burglaries where burglars cut through neighboring buildings into jewelry stores. Also, the day after Five Star Jewelry was hit, another jewelry store was robbed with the same technique. This is part of an ongoing trend, perhaps fueled by the high price of gold. In 2024, jewelers' losses through theft in the U.S. went up 7% to $142 million.
That's a lot.
That's a lot. Ted also makes a plea to the community saying, quote, "Please help us help our neighbors. Anyone who saw anything, please contact the police." He covers the $4,000 wall repair himself because the insurance claim isn't worth it. The Simi Valley police are on the case. Time to bust the guys who robbed the place that gives them free coffee. Let's rewind the clock.
Actually, rewind the clock is more like...
Okay, I'm glad we got there.
Choose your own sound effect. My favorite book series as a kid.
They combed through the previous week's security footage. Since the robbers knew exactly where to dig, they likely came by and cased the building beforehand. And look at that. 5 days before the robbery, they see some rather suspicious activity. First, 2 men peer through the windows of Five Star Jewelry. Nothing too crazy. Maybe they're just being curious. Then a 3rd man joins them, and they walk into Dr. Conkey's instead. One breaks off and checks out the security cameras. Interesting. Another uses his cell phone flashlight to inspect the wall the shop shares with Five Star Jewelry. He flashes his light into the wall. That's really weird.
He's doing the geometry in his head. It's like A Beautiful Mind where all the numbers are flowing. He's like, ooh, I'm seeing a perfect square or a perfect rectangle to put in that wall. Yes.
Yep. He's going full Russell Crowe.
Well, I think going full Russell Crowe is something different. He threw a phone in his friend's head and...
Then they all sit against a table against that wall and talk. One of them raises his hand and waves it as though he was using a can of spray paint. These guys planned the robbery right in front of one of their targets, so they were talking about it pretty openly.
Yeah.
The police do a pretty good job of tracking the guys from there, and they start at a pawn shop just 2 miles away. As we mentioned before, the tunnel in through your wall buddy technique has been employed many times in the greater Los Angeles area, so it's likely whoever hit Five Star Jewelry already hit someone else. So at this pawn shop, the night before the big robbery actually, a gang broke in through the next door building's wall, but bailed. The owner of the pawn shop said, "We don't want to speculate why no property was taken. We have some idea, but we don't want to disclose that." Okay, that sounds kind of random. I don't know what that means.
I have no idea what that means. Say something.
We're not going to say anything, but thank you for recording me. Goodbye.
Right. It is pretty ominous. Like, what what was in their pawn shop. What are they protecting? You know, what Indiana Jones artifact was in there that
What are you
stolen?
hiding? Yeah.
Yes.
The pawn shop did have security cameras, and they caught one of the thieves wearing the same outfit as one during the 5-star jewelry theft. On top of the fashion crime of outfit repeating, it looks like we got repeat burglary offenders on our hands. The police locate their vehicle and launch a surveillance operation. How do they catch the crooks? Find out after the break.
Welcome back. One of the thieves made a crucial mistake, wearing the same outfit 2 days in a row on 2 separate heists. The police lock on, and now with their car located, investigators wait for the perfect time to strike. On June 10th, the gang is driving around with the jewelry, some rope, and a ladder when they are pulled over. One of the gang members tells the cop that the rope is his. Okay, sure. There's rope in the car, so it's got to be one of yours. The cop studies the car's occupants and notes they are all adorned in jewelry. They're blinged out, if you would. After the traffic stop, the gang inspects the vehicle for tracking devices. They don't realize the law just followed them home. The police watch as they meet another member at an apartment. The thieves place stolen jewelry in plastic bags and load it in a crossbody bag. It's enough to obtain a search warrant. When the gang leaves the apartment, the police move in. Handcuffs are now another accessory added to the thieves' collection. And we have 2 pictures of their actual collection, which includes, on the left here, a pearl necklace, which we hope is the same pearl necklace that the 5-star jewelry client was having redone. That would be happy news for her, at least. But yeah, you're seeing a bunch of rings and necklaces, including the pearl necklace, and then some other boxes. I don't know, we're seeing a lot of jewelry, and then also a lot of watches, some nice-looking watches, and a lot of cash.
A bunch of cash.
And I assume that the cops laid them out like this because, you know, they're not on a perfect geometrical grid, which I assume is how the robbers would actually do it, right? Police find large amounts of jewelry, cash, and designer watches, like we said, and not all of it is from 5-star jewelry because they robbed other places, like the pawn shop. In total, $600,000 in stolen jewelry and $20,000 in cash. They also find a gun, which was stolen from a different pawn shop in another tunnel-style burglary. They're just tunneling all over the Los Angeles area. Heist equipment like gloves, collapsible ladders, lock-picking equipment, practice locks, and diamond testers are also removed from the apartment. The rope was actually stolen from Home Depot 10 days before the heist because they just can't leave a paper trail. Every element that they need, they stole from somewhere. And on June 13th, the police announced 4 arrests in connection to the heist. 3 men and 1 woman. They are Sergio Andres Meji Machuca, he's 27, Manuel David Ibarra, 37, Heidi Nicole Trujillo, 25, and Camilo Antonio Aguilar Lara, 31, all held on a $100,000 bond. Heidi is involved in the trafficking of the jewelry, but was not actually there for the heist when they did them. Machuca also faced an outstanding 2023 burglary warrant from New Jersey, so he's heisted on both coasts. And we have pictures of all of them. I don't know. These are definitely mugshots. That's the first thing I'd say. None of them are happy. Jesse, any words of wisdom? Any words of comedy here?
Not really. I just think what I was doing when I was 25 years old, I was not in a different country. I just think it's a wild life these young people are living.
Yeah, they are young. Manuel is a little older, right? Because he does look a little older. Yeah, he was 37.
Right, yeah.
He was a little older,
37.
but still. Yeah. I mean, Heidi's what? Heidi's 25? Yeah. She looks young, All are charged with 4 felony conspiracy counts and theft with excessive loss over $3 million. And they all plead not guilty. We'll see how that goes. DA Eric Nasarenko notes that these charges contain sentencing enhancements thanks to the recently passed Prop 36, which allows longer sentences for repeat offenders and for stolen property over $3.2 million. So they now face up to 6 years in prison. He describes them as sophisticated professionals because they were good. They knew what they were doing. They did a lot of it. So who are these guys? Their origin seems rather odd for a professional robbery gang. All of them are Chilean nationals who were in the U.S. on 90-day tourist visas, and they hadn't overstayed. So 90-day kleptomancy? Does that work? Okay. Now on TLC? 90-day fiance, it rhymes. Although I think kleptomancy is not just stealing. Mancy means like spirits. The Poltergeist. That's what it is. This is the house in Poltergeist got them and inspired them to steal. That's
I
the
would
only
watch
way
that
that
show.
kleptomancy
That's way
works.
more fun.
Yeah. TLC would make that show. I would check it out.
Yeah, Ghost Hunters meets 90 Day Fiance. That sounds
That's
awesome.
right. Actually, there is an audience, maybe. Maybe not on TLC. I'm sure 90 Day Fiance fans will watch it, but there's a lot of spin-offs of 90 Day Fiance. I'm just saying anything's possible.
Right.
And so this is basically one way to spend their vacation. Also, a very short amount of time to become a professional burglar in a foreign country. Yeah, they're only there for 90 days, and they're getting a lot done. Hence why they're committing these crimes on back-to-back days. They're fitting it all in. Now, they could be connected to a much larger operation, but the police are hush-hush about what they could prove. Maybe they will crack the case soon. This is all from last year, after all. We need more episode topics, so maybe we'll come back to it if we hear more. But it's all quiet on the heist front until January 21st, 2026. So while we published our Muhammad Ali fight heist episode from Atlanta, the entire gang pleads guilty. Why? What happened to these confident no guilty pleas?
Well, I'll tell you, Todd. It turns out the best investigators on the case weren't the police. It was the criminals themselves. They filmed the entire robbery. You can see them making cutesy peace signs before hacking away at the sheetrock with crowbars.
Did you watch any of the footage?
You know what? I didn't watch the video.
Why don't we watch a little bit now? What I realized when I watched is, I've actually seen this before. I think we actually reposted it to our Heist Club account. Like, you see them hack away. They're really filming everything. Such modern young criminals filming everything in their lives. Oh, that's so funny. The peace sign to the camera. There's the perfect rectangle. Perfect.
Why? Why do this?
I mean, they really outlined it. Perfect. And another peace sign. They really just flashed peace signs left and right. Otherwise, they're just banging away.
That is really funny. I don't know why they did this.
I know. They're wearing the jewelry already. It's kind of amazing. It really is amazing this exists.
Well, why film yourself?
Like, they're just, they're making it very easy on the police. Like, this is the easy, because again, their faces are not covered in all these. Like, again, they were while they committed it. But otherwise, they're literally back at their apartment, counting it and tallying up. They couldn't turn their cameras off.
Yeah.
They record everything. Kids these days.
Even the still image from the video that we have, like, he has a balaclava on, and I can see his whole face. I can pick you out in a lineup, dude. Just because I can't see your mouth doesn't mean anything.
Yeah.
You're not wearing it correctly, man.
Yeah.
It's really funny.
Doing it for the gram.
Yeah, I guess. They also filmed the jewelry, possibly for buyers or their bosses, as well as them modeling the jewelry.
Yep.
So in February 2026, Manuel Ibarra and Camille Lara are each sentenced to 4 years and 4 months, and Heidi Trujillo is sentenced to 4 years. Okay, they get 4 months more.
I mean, she wasn't there, and she still gets 4 years. I mean, for actually physically committing crime, it's just 4 more months. That is strange. Again, they stole from mom and pops. We are not showing them much sympathy right now. I'm not saying she should have got less, I guess, but there's not much discrepancy. Yeah.
They must have lots of evidence that she was really in on the heist and not just along for the ride.
Right. I mean, she definitely was involved. It's just like, I guess
right.
To a degree, it's like if you're going to get 4 years anyway, why not just go with them and experience the thrill of the heist, Is that a weird comment? Maybe.
Yeah, might as well.
Sorry.
Yeah.
That's the judgment I'm making right now is do more.
Do more, exactly.
Do more. Deserve that time, Do more to deserve that time. That's what I'm saying.
In March, Sergio Andreas Mahi Machuca is sentenced to 5 years and 8 months. The longer sentence is due to that New Jersey robbery. Though the amount recovered is only 1/6 of what Jacob had, he's just happy the perpetrators can't harm anyone else. So, moral of the story, if you're going to do a heist, don't film yourself doing it. Or do. It makes us for a better Heist Club episode.
Yeah. It's funny we have to tell people that.
I don't know. Let's just jump in right to our diamond rating because I feel like I have lots of little thoughts. What do you think?
Okay. Well, before we get to our final clue, let's do the diamond rating, and then we'll give our final Heist Club cash grab clue. So, diamond rating, yeah. I think it's a complicated one to give a rating to, right? Is that what you're thinking?
No, I just think it's almost a good idea. Like, hey, I think it's like, why did they choose this store and this part of the country and this country even? It's like, hey, we don't live here, so we're going to get in and get out. And they're never going to know it's us. I think that part is really smart.
Yeah.
Go to a different country and leave. That's a good way to not stick around. I totally get that. But immediately filming yourself is makes no sense. And doing a bunch like that really close also doesn't make sense. Like, don't you think maybe they just thought like, oh, it's only 90 days. There's no way they're going to catch us immediately, but they did.
We'll do as many heists as we can in 90 days, then get out of the country, and it'll be their favorite vacation ever. Then maybe that's why they were taking pictures and videos. Like, we all take pictures and video on our vacations, right? So we're judging them for taking video of their thefts, because why would you do that? But it's just like, no, this is just their trip to LA. You know, everyone dreams of going to LA, and they get this is their fun trip to LA, where they stole lots of money and then went to prison.
Yeah, or this is just the life they lead, and they thought nothing bad would ever happen to them, I guess.
Well, they're also young, right? So they also probably think that too for that reason, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Young and a little foolish. Not like that's an excuse. People are young and foolish and don't steal from candy and jewelry stores.
Yeah, I bet it was exciting. They're in LA. That's crazy. They're doing this crazy thing.
Or close, you know, they're the LA area. Well, they're in LA too, but they're also, ooh.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
how was LA? Oh, Simi Valley is beautiful. I saw where they shot the Bullet with Butterfly Wings video.
Yeah, they're really just there to scope out the quarry for the Bullet with Butterfly Wings video. I'm thinking 2 for a rating. I think, the idea is good, but also not really.
Yeah, I think 2 is pretty good. It's definitely a middle, because like they're actually pretty good at committing these heists if they weren't filming them. Getting in, getting out, doing it quickly enough, having perfect geometry and how they cut their holes, and getting a lot of money from a lot of different stores, and I don't know, there's something about targeting mom and pops, which is sad and terrible, but I assume for them, they also think it's probably pretty easy, right? And also there's all these strip malls, they can, get in through a roof, cut a hole in a wall, and steal from multiple places quickly. So they're actually pretty good at that. But the whole filming it thing really ruined it for them. They got caught so easily and convicted so easily just by, first of all, they were on the security cameras too. They didn't do enough to not be seen, because they cased the joints in a pretty obvious way.
I think even if they didn't film themselves, they still would have got caught pretty quickly.
Yeah, well, I agree. They would have got caught because they were on the other cameras, but I think they got convicted even easier. Like, look, they got guilty at first, right? Who knows what would have happened? But to have this amount of evidence, all of a sudden it's like, oh, wait, we have no case here. It's so obviously us. You could literally not have it be more obvious. So I will go 2 stars. I'm not going to go 2.5. Yeah, 2 stars. 2 stars works for me. We are on the same page here. We are simpatico.
I'm glad we're on the same page.
Yes.
Yeah, I almost feel bad for them. I don't know why. It's just like a weird thing to do in your 20s, man. Like, oh, I'm going to go to a country and spend 5 years in prison, you know?
What a wonderful way to see America. In our prison.
Yeah.
I mean, like, a large population of Americans see America that way, unfortunately. So you're like many people who are incarcerated. But, some people maybe not so rightfully so. In this case, you get the time you deserve. This is what you did.
Yeah.
Yeah. We don't have a lot of fallout to talk about here because it just happened last year. So I will say, if we do learn more, we will give an update on a future episode. If there's more about Dr. Conkey's, or, I still hope that Jacob gets to retire. Maybe it's a little bit harder now because they just got robbed, and even with the community support, I hope he does get to retire soon. And, maybe that's not a huge update for our listeners, but I think people would like to hear it. It'd be good news to tell.
Yeah, I feel bad for Jacob and Jonathan.
Now that our diamond rating is out of the way, now that we got that business done, time for our final Heist Club cash grab clue. Are you ready? Okay. The clue can be found at a location that shares the same name as the Canadian city where the Reno Gang, from our Reno Gang episode, of course, hid from the Pinkertons in 1868. You can find the answer in our November 26, 2025 episode, All Aboard America's First Train Robbery. The clue can be found at a location that shares the same name as the Canadian city where the Reno Gang hid from the Pinkertons in 1868. You can find the answer in our November 26, 2025 episode, All Aboard America's First Train Robbery.
Remember, when you find the clue card, you need to turn it over, find the name of the heister, and email us with the episode name that featured that heister, along with a photo of the card, to the email address hello@heistclubpod.com. We'll see you guys next time, and happy hunting.
Good luck to everyone. Good luck.
Good luck. And tune in next week for The Heist That Saved the American Revolution.
Heist Club is a production of School of Humans, hosted by me, Todd Weiser.
And me, Jesse Neiswanger. I do all the fancy audio and music editing too.
This episode was researched and produced by Carolyn Talmadge. Our senior producer is Amelia Brock.
Our production manager is Daisy Church. Our executive producers are Virginia Prescott, Brandon Barr, and Elsie Crowley.
Join us again next week for Heist Club, and don't forget to rate and review. Thanks.